So, the Minecraft movie was. It was a mess. It wasn't the utter disaster that I thought it was going to be, but it's still really bad. The first thing I suppose I want to discuss is the Minecraft in the movie itself. The blocks have very, very inconsistent sizes. The rules for like when the movie follows the rules of the game are also very inconsistent. It's like 1 minute you'll have a skeleton fall down like 10 blocks and die, which that wouldn't kill a skeleton. But then it'll like drop and it'll vanish and turn into a bone, and the bone will float around, and it's like, oh, it's like the game. That's cute. Um, but then other times, like a bunch of skeletons will die, and they'll just like turn into a pile of like the bones of the model of the skeleton. But then other times you'll see like piglins explode and they die and that's it. Other times you'll see them get stabbed and they turn into pork chops. It's so inconsistent. And then uh, there's this sequence where they need to jump off of a bridge, but it's fine. You can just jump off the bridge. There's water down there. This is Minecraft. A single pixel of water can save your life. Steve would know this. But then they have to have this whole dramatic section about flying on the elytra, which there's no fucking way a ghast is going to keep up with an elytra, but whatever. But they have to hang on the elytras and fly around and save themselves. But then they smack into a tree at a million miles an hour, but that breaks the branches instead of killing them on impact like it would in the game. Like the physics also work just like in the game, like regarding like floating blocks and stuff. So it's just inconsistent. They did not care enough to make it consistent. Another little inconsistency is that the actors never know what they're really looking at. Like there's this sequence where older sister, I forget her name. I didn't care enough to remember it. I'm not even sure they mentioned it if I'm being honest. Where older sister screams at hearing a noise as an iron golem walks by, but she's like looking over at something that's eye level with her, and she's like 4 feet tall. Iron golems are 10 feet tall, but it's just like a scream. There's no body movement to go with it. There's no jolt. There's no shake. There's no jump. Nothing. It's just a really well delivered scream and some vacant fucking eyes. It's hilarious to look at. And then it's so strange because like Steve explains, oh, it's the Iron Golem, it's the security force of the village, but they're a bunch of softies. You don't have to worry about them unless you mess with the villagers. Don't do that. And then older sister says this place makes no sense, even though that was easily the most sensible thing that she had encountered thus far. It's like, oh, here's a security force. It's going to violently protect the thing that it's here to protect. I feel like that's the thing that makes the most sense after everything that you've seen. Why not have the line, this place makes no sense, when we saw the Technoblade cameo? It's just a pig wandering around with a crown, and Steve calls him a legend, and it never comes up in the movie again. So it's just a wink and a nod and a haha, it's a nudge nudge. It's like like as a Minecraft fan, as someone who's been vaguely part of the Minecraft community for a while, like I appreciate the reference, but as a film goer, I needed that to come back because there was like for someone that has no connections to Minecraft, that is a completely meaningless thing. And a well-written movie would have that Technoblade like come up, like he would help save the day or whatever, and it's like, oh, that's why he's a legend, you know. Oh, speaking of saving the day, there's a there's something I want to mention before I forget because it's really really funny. But I'm pretty sure that the movie stole both the Sam Raimi Spider-Man uh, theme song and the Miles Morales theme song from Into the Spider-Verse. I Now the thing is, it's just a couple notes, especially for like the Miles Morales thing. It's just ba ba ba, and then like doing it again on like a higher pitch. I think I'm not musically inclined. I don't know if it's different notes or whatever. But the thing is, they did it twice, and then during the final battle after that, they have like the continuation from the other part of the Miles Morales theme song, and it's like, hold on, and they didn't, and it's not just, oh well, here's the song we're gonna put here as like a placeholder, because full disclosure, I saw the early release version, uh, not the complete in theaters version. I saw the screen testing version. Uh, and so I was thinking for a while, well, maybe it's like a placeholder song because I know a lot of movies will do that. It's like, hey, here's the footage we have. Here's some placeholder music that I want, to show, hey, this is the kind of music that I want for this scene. And so that's not going to be reflective of the final product. But the thing is, it's composed with like different elements and at a different speed. So no, they didn't just put the Miles Morales and the Spider-Man music there. They straight up recomposed it. And then, of course, the reason that I'm confident that they stole the Miles Morales theme, despite how simple it is not just because of it being used twice, and because of like the continuation of it during the final battle, but also because on that escape with the Elytra scene, um, when they start like jumping off the cliffs, I swear to God, the music that plays every time like Tobey Maguire's swinging through the city of New York, with like the trilling and like sort of almost like wave sounding soundtrack, when he's swinging through the city and all that. Like it's, I swear to God that plays. It is so jarring. Uh, oh yeah, speaking of that scene, actually, there's a really funny moment where the little brother gets kicked off the bridge, and he's like, and we see like the camera follow him down, and he's going to hit the beach and die. But then, like, we see him falling straight down, and there is not a beach in sight. Like, two completely different shots. Again, that might have been fixed in post, but holy shit, that is funny. Now, on to some actual, like, compliments for the movie. There are some genuinely funny jokes in here. Um, I don't think they make up the majority of the movie's runtime. Uh, and strangely enough, like the parts where they're not in the Minecraft world, where they're in the real world, are unironically the best parts of the movie because there is a movie to salvage out of that material. It was like directed by the guy that directed Napoleon Bonaparte, or no, not Bonaparte. What the fucking Napoleon Dynamite? Bonaparte was a different dude completely. Uh, but anyway, and you can tell because like the way that the jokes are delivered, the way that everything's acted, even the way that some of the sets are put together. Uh, it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly like a Napoleon sequel or something. Like there really was something to salvage out of that. Like there were bits of like decent acting. Well, actually, I can't even say that. The acting in the entire movie was half-assed. It was some of the most phoned-in performances in a movie I've ever seen, which is really saying something. Like it's not terrible. Like most of the actors here are fine, or even great. Like I've seen what Jason Momoa can do. Like he's a pretty good actor. It's just like he phoned this one in. He so clearly phoned it in. But yeah, the bits where they're in Idaho, like there are some genuinely funny jokes. That there's a story being told here. There's a progression of events without keys being jangled in your face every 5 fucking minutes, or without the rules of the game being like constantly mismanaged and misused. Like it is very, very clear that most of the people that worked on this movie had no fucking idea what Minecraft even was, which is a shame because like I'm a big fan of Minecraft. I've been playing the game since like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there, and it's like I go back to that game every couple of years. Hell, I think I play it at least once a year, and like it's helped me through some of the darkest times of my life. It's just one of those games that's so charming, and despite the stress that you can have playing the game, dear God, let me tell you about that. It's still just so relaxing to hop onto a game of Minecraft and just enjoy the bright colors and the peaceful atmosphere and to just do something that feels productive. You're mining, you're doing your chores, and you're clearing the area of like weeds and mobs and stuff. There's something therapeutic about it in a way. But yeah, something that I thought was really funny but unintentionally is the like I don't know that this is the movie's fault because like fantasy tropes and all that, but I did think that it was really funny that the Piglin army was built exactly like the Skaven army that I've been painting. So that was pretty funny. Um, actually, hold on. Uh, that does bring up a couple problems that I have with the Piglins. First of which being, why did they need Steve alive? Why did they keep him alive all these years? Maybe I just missed it when I was watching the movie, but no, no. I don't think there was a reason for the Piglins to keep Steve alive, and of course they keep popping up all over the overworld. So, what reason do they need the big portal at the end for? Especially since like other Nether portals exist. I don't understand. And then of course like when they defeat like the bad guys by blowing up the portal, um like half of the piglins start like melting or mutating or something, and it's like, why? Because the sun's out? But why would that affect some of the piglins but not some of the others? I don't I don't get it. I don't understand it. And then the villain just kind of falls over dead for some reason. Like not, and it's not even like related to the sunlight. Like you know, Steve and her were fighting for a while, and then like Steve beats her. Like he doesn't even wound her or anything, and then she tries this bit where she's like, "Come closer, I have something to tell you," and tries to stab him like 3 times. Uh, and then when Steve finally just gives up on listening to her and walks away, she just collapses for some reason. Like I don't know if she passed out or if she's dead or whatever. And it's like, well, clearly someone that has like killed all of these innocent people should, you know, maybe you should finish her off, Steve. I don't know. Oh, actually, speaking of Steve, I have a question for you. So Steve is a very tan man, about 6'6", something like that, 2 meters tall. Um, you know, brown hair. He's got the goatee going, and he's got that deep, gruff voice of a manly man. Jason Momoa also matches all of these qualities. Really, the only difference between him and Steve is that he has, I think, like greenish eyes. Or no, or are they brown? I haven't seen his eyes in a while. But you could just give him like blue contacts or not even, just why isn't Jason Momoa Steve? He looks and sounds exactly like the fucking dude, you know? And like switching like if we desperately need the movie to be exactly as is, but or as close as possible, then just switch Jason Momoa and Jack Black. Just switch them around. And you could still have Jack Black deliver his Jack Black lines, you know? And it would make more sense because not only would Jason Momoa look and sound like Steve, but Jack Black being like the fat loser gamer who's stuck in the 80s and all that, while constantly having like all this over the top energy to try and like compensate for, how lame he really is. Like, wouldn't that just be good casting? Like the casting in this movie is incredibly questionable. But speaking of writing a better Minecraft movie, you know what else tells the story of someone ending up in the world of Minecraft and having to learn everything while still being faithful to the game and, showing signs of immense respect for everything that the game was without looking ugly as sin? An Egg's Guide to Minecraft. Yeah, that that's a fun enough show. You should go watch that instead. In fact, also the Eggs Guide to Minecraft series was such a big deal within the Minecraft community that the villager resource pack where everything, like every sound effect was just the villagers, saying what the sound effect is supposed to be. Like that was the April Fool's update. That was one of the April Fool's updates in Minecraft. Like officially. And Element Animation like felt the need to apologize for ruining Minecraft. God, that shit was funny. So yeah, like pretty much everything in the movie is questionable except for a couple jokes here and there. Um like even down to just like the aesthetics and like what they choose to make CG and not. Like for some reason certain props are CG but others aren't and like some of the sets are real. So like I don't understand why. And like none of the blocks are the proper size, but all of the mobs are, or not all the mobs. Like the villagers are the proper size, the iron golems are the proper size, the ghasts are I think the proper size. Yeah, the entire thing is just one questionable choice after another. It's a fucking mess of a movie. It's not the abomination and sin against mankind that I thought it was going to be, but it's still really bad. Like it's just bad. Like I I don't know what else to say. I could do a more thorough breakdown down the line, but I I don't think I want to. I've got other projects that I want to work on. I've got a review for The Outpost that I'd like to get out before Memorial Day. Um, like I have to completely restructure the Arcane review if I even want to stick with that because season 2 was so garbage. Like shit. Besides, I've got a bunch of other stuff to do with my actual life. So yeah, I'll just work on what I can, I guess, and probably never touch this movie again because I've got better shit to do. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy yourselves, stay safe, and all that, and I'll see you around.